Hi friends, in front of you this is 𝗬𝗧 pursuing B.SC BZC second year from Telangana Tribal Welfare Residential Degree College, Utnur. Today's my subject is zoology. I am here with a beautiful story of a cute little girl. There was a little girl who was 11 years old. She was studying her 5th class. One day, while she was returning from her school, on the way back to home, she was like suddenly shocked. What could be the reason? Yes, it is her first periods. She saw a big red color stain on her skirt. She was so shocked and scared that her mother would scold her for the stain. Her stomach was paining. Tears were running down her eyes. She can't even move a little bit. So she sat on the nearby bench. She informed her sister. Then her sister understood what the problem and she took her little sister to home. As soon as they reached the home, with tears she rushed into the washroom. Then her mother saw the little girl crying. She was so tensed and asked the elder sister what's the reason. Then the elder sister answered beautifully that our little princess has become a big girl now. Then the mother was happy and relaxed. As soon as the little girl came out of the washroom, she hugged her mother and started saying that she was going to die. Then her mother smiled at her and said, "You are not going to die, my sweetheart. You have become a big girl now." But the little girl did not understand what the mother was saying. She was still in confusion. Then her mother decided to explain few points about periods. She started saying that being women is a blessing. Having periods is not a shameful thing. It is a thing that you should feel happy about. She also said that every situation has two sides. One is positive, one is negative. In some areas, periods are treated as positive and in some areas, periods are treated as negative. So they isolate their menstruating women or girl outside. She also said that if any girl, you know or you don't know, if she is undergoing the same situation, you should always step ahead and help her. So this is the end of the story. And the moral is that a girl will menstruate every month. It is not a shameful thing. The journey from a girl to the women is such a beautiful thing, the God given. She will bear so much pain. She will menstruate for nearly 7 days and still she is alive. This is her strength. So never blame a girl for her periods. This is the story. I hope you understand what my topic is. Yes, my topic is menstrual cycle. So let us learn now objectives. By the end of this session, you should be able to list the phases of the menstrual cycle. You should also describe how the hormonal control occurs in the menstrual cycle. Also menstrual hygiene and awareness and also a major disorder called PCOD. Now I am here with a few points about female reproductive structure. Female reproductive structure is a pelvic organ. It is a group of organs functioning in ensuring reproduction, pregnancy and childbirth. Female reproductive structure consists of ovaries, uterus, fallopian tube, cervix and vagina. So first of all, coming to ovaries. Ovaries are a pair situated either side of the uterus. Ovaries are oval in shape and it is 2 to 4 centimeter in length. The main two functions of ovaries are it releases eggs every month and it also releases hormones called estrogen and progesterone. During every month, the eggs are produced by the process of oogenesis and the produced eggs are released outside by the process of ovulation. Now coming to next, fallopian tube. Fallopian tube is also known as passageway of female reproductive structure. It is about 10 to 12 centimeter in length. The released egg is captured by the finger-like structures called fimbriae, and it travels through the fallopian tube by peristaltic movement. In fallopian tube is the site of fertilization. If the egg is fertilized, then it travels down to the uterus and it implants there. And next coming to uterus. Uterus is a sac-like structure. It is also known as womb. It is pear shaped and it consists of 3 layers, namely inner endometrium, middle myometrium and outer perimetrium. As the endometrium is very important because it is the place where baby comes and attaches, the baby grows, nourishes and develops. After the development, oxytocin hormone is released and it causes the vigorous contractions in the uterus. So, after the contractions, the baby comes out through cervix and vagina. So, these cervix and vagina is combinedly known as birth canal, from where the baby comes out. So, now let us learn some introduction points of menstrual cycle. So, menstrual cycle is also known as menstruation, menses and periods. First periods begins at the age of puberty, which is also at the age of 12 or 13. It is known as menarche. Some girls menstruate at the age of 14 or 15 or even 16, but if it exceeds more than 16 years, it might be considered as a problem. And by the age of 50 years, the menstrual cycle ceases and this condition is known as menopause. So, the female reproductive cycle occurring only female primates like monkey, man and apes is known as menstrual cycle. During each menstrual cycle, endometrium undergoes changes. There is a key function of hormonal control that plays in menstrual cycle. So, every month one egg is released by the ovary. The average duration of the menstrual cycle is 28 days, but it is not same for all the girls. The shortest cycle is 21 days and the longest cycle is 35 days. If it is too shorter than 20 days or if it is too longer than 35 days, it might be considered as problem. So, now what are the phases of menstrual cycle? There are 4 phases of menstrual cycle. First one is menstrual phase or bleeding phase. Second one is proliferative phase or follicular phase. Third one is ovulatory phase and fourth one is luteal phase or secretory phase. Coming to menstrual phase, it is the beginning of the menstrual cycle, or we can say it is the first day of the menstrual cycle. It lasts for 3 to 5 days. Why do menstrual phase occurs? Menstrual phase occurs due to the breakdown of endometrium lining of the uterus and the blood vessels, which forms liquid that comes out through vagina. So, menstrual cycle can occur for 3 to 5 days. During each cycle, a girl menstruates up to 40 to 80 ml of blood is lost. Absence of menstruation may be an indication of pregnancy, but however it could also be due to stress, poor health, poor lifestyle, poor food habits, also anemia may be the reasons. Now coming to next phase, follicular phase. So, first of all, hypothalamus, which is also known as master of endocrine orchestra. It is present in the neck region. It will releases gonadotropin releasing hormone. It will triggers the anterior pituitary gland. So, first of all, let us learn what is anterior pituitary, posterior pituitary gland and anterior pituitary gland. So, pituitary gland is the master of endocrine system. It has 2 lobes mainly, anterior lobe and posterior lobe. Anterior lobe is bigger than posterior lobe. Here you can see this is hypothalamus and this is pituitary gland. This is anterior pituitary gland, this is posterior pituitary gland. So, anterior pituitary gland is bigger than posterior pituitary gland. The hypothalamus secretes gonadotropin releasing hormone. This hormone travels through the blood and reaches the anterior pituitary gland. So, this anterior pituitary gland releases 2 hormones, namely follicular stimulating hormone and luteal hormone. These two FSH and LH hormones reach the ovaries through blood. So, here is the detailed structure of ovaries where hormonal regulation can be seen. This is the capillaries where follicular stimulating hormone enters into the ovary. These are primordial cells. Every woman is born with nearly 2 million follicles in her ovary, but when she reaches her puberty, the number decreases up to 80,000. So, each menstrual cycle nearly 10 to 15 primordial follicles participate in development. This is the primary follicle and this is the secondary follicle. As the FSH is increasing, the primary follicles will develop into mature Graafian follicle. This is the mature Graafian follicle. This will release a hormone called estrogen. As the estrogen level is slow, it will inhibit the luteinizing hormone. As the estrogen level is high, it will stimulate the luteinizing hormone. At the 14th day, the luteinizing hormone will reach the highest peak. This is known as LH surge. Due to the LH surge, the Graafian follicle will rupture and the egg is released. This is known as ovulation. After the ovulation, the remaining Graafian follicle is transformed into yellow color substance called corpus luteum. Corpus means body, luteum means yellow color substance. This corpus luteum releases mainly 3 hormones. They are estrogen, inhibin and progesterone. So, first of all, let us learn what are the functions of estrogen. Estrogen produces and stimulates the growth of bone and muscles. It also enlarges the breast and it will broaden the pelvic. It will also change the voice. Now, inhibin. As the inhibin is released, it will inhibit the follicular stimulating hormone. Why? Because as the corpus luteum is there is no need of any follicles to develop. So, it will inhibit the FSH hormone. And next is progesterone hormone. It is the main hormone which will cause the endometrial growth up to 6 mm thickness. These 3 are the hormones released by corpus luteum. As the corpus luteum is degenerating, the progesterone level will decrease. As the progesterone level is decreasing, the endometrium lining, which is dependent only on progesterone, will break down. As the progesterone decreases, the gonadotropin releasing hormone will increase. This causes the new cycle. This is the phase hormonal regulation of female reproductive cycle. Next, coming to symptoms. Every girl undergoes many symptoms during their menstrual cycle. First one is abdominal cramp. Abdominal cramp is also known as abdominal pain, where it gets severe pains in her abdomen. Not only abdomen, it will also attack the lower back and even thighs. Next symptom is fatigue. Many menstruating women feel tired during their menses. Next symptom is bloating. Bloating is also known as heaviness occurring in stomach. They feel heavy tummy even though they did not taken more lunch. Next is bowel issues. Bowel issues is also because severe contractions occurs in uterus and intestine. This cause severe bowel issues, bowel movements, which may also cause diarrhea. Mood swings. This is the important thing to discuss. So, mood swings, women may feel anxiety, inactive, depression. These are the symptoms. Now, it is a menstrual disorder called PCOD. PCOD is also known as polycystic ovarian disorder. Almost 10% of the women across the world are facing this problem. This is the common problem that most of the girls face today. First of all, what is PCOD? In a common language, it is also known as water bubbles formed in ovary. Why these water bubbles are formed? So, every month there are 10 to 20 follicles are produced in which one will get matured. But women who are with PCOD problem, 10 to 15 follicles will not get matured and they will be in immature condition. As the number of follicles increases, these follicles will be transformed into cyst or bubbles. As the bubbles increases, the ovary size will increase. As the ovary size increases, it will secrete male hormone called androgen. This androgen causes the menstrual cycle to skip. This also causes irregular menses, which may lead to infertility. So, first of all, let us learn why this PCOD is caused. PCOD is caused due to stress, poor health, poor food habits, hormonal imbalance. Then what are the symptoms? Symptoms like hair fall, acne. Severe acne is caused due to the production of more amount of androgens. And next is abdominal pain. Next is irregular periods are caused due to PCOD, and the last cause is infertility. They can't bear children. Next, treatment. The treatment for PCOD is yet not found. There is no completely cure for PCOD, but PCOD can be kept in control by taking proper diet and exercising well, because PCOD can cause type 2 diabetes, which cause weight gain. So, keeping weight in control can make PCOD control. Next is menstrual hygiene. Menstrual hygiene is a vital process for empowerment of women and girls across the world. First of all, thanks to the inventor of sanitary pad. First of all, wash yourself properly. Next is change your sanitary napkin every 4 to 6 hours and use clean undergarments and change them regularly. Next is discard the sanitary napkin properly, because they may cause some infections. Now, let us discuss about menstrual hygiene management. Menstrual hygiene management is about following menstrual hygiene. So, nearly 1.8 billion women across the world menstruate. Millions of them are unable to manage their menstrual hygiene in a dignified way. This may cause severe consequences like they will be attacked to several diseases, their mobility will be stopped, their attendance will also be stopped. So, interventions about menstrual hygiene and health can help overcome these obstacles. May 28 is celebrated as Menstrual Hygiene Day. The day has special character, like May is taken as a women menstruate about 5 days and 28th day is taken that menstrual cycle occurs once in every 28 days. Next is menstrual related myths in India. The picture illustrates that a girl is restricted or isolated from her house. Even in our society, even in my locality, I observe things like that. Many women, menstruating women and girls are restricted and isolated from their home and banished to sheds. So, why the stigma? Why the belief? So, nearly half of the world believe the stigmas. So, cultural restrictions like they will say the menstruating women as unclean and they will isolate their menstruating women. So, why keeping it secret? Menstruation should be talked openly so that everyone will know what is menstruation. So, there are some myths like shouldn't have a bath, shouldn't exercise, shouldn't enter kitchen, shouldn't touch plants. These are the myths followed in India. So, if we don't bath, we will feel inactive or we may cause sick. Shouldn't exercise. If exercise is done, we will get some relief. Shouldn't enter into kitchen. It is a myth which completely should be avoided. Shouldn't touch plants. Plants do not show any discrimination towards human beings. Like in our society, many of the girls are restricted that they are not allowed to enter into religious rituals, they are not allowed to cook, they are not allowed to go to school even, they are not allowed to touch males, they are not allowed to eat certain foods. But we should break all these myths. So, girls can come out freely and achieve what they want to be. Next is, not only in India but throughout the world, some weirdest period myths are followed in 2023 too. In Australia, swimming on periods may result in shark attack. In Bangladesh, they believe that old menstrual clothes should be buried, otherwise they could attack evil spirits. In Bolivia, they believe that they should not cradle the babies. If they cradle, they could cause them get ill. In Italy, they believe that anything a menstrual woman cook, it will be a disaster. In Tanzania, if anyone else sees your menstrual cloth, you could become cursed. In Romania, they believe that if they touch flowers, as they will die quicker, the flowers will die quicker, they believe like that. So, these are the weirdest myths that followed in different countries. So, the next is the purpose of my presentation of this topic is that at least now the women will be treated the way she want to be, and she will achieve whatever she want to be. So, I am going to end this session by the famous saying of Malcolm Forbes that education's purpose is to replace an empty mind with open one. So, by the end of this my section, I hope at least they come out of such a mindset and follow through a healthy menstrual cycle. I thank Secretary Sir for giving this opportunity. I also thank my principal madam and my mentor who supported me a lot. I also thank TSAT channel for giving me such wonderful opportunity. Thank you to all.